This is a stimulus check update and daily news report. Got some big important updates to share with you. Democrats are proposing a new gas stimulus check, which could pay hundreds of dollars on a recurring basis. I'll give you the details on that. Senate has just passed a bill to avert a government shutdown. Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi is promising a new COVID relief bill, which would stand alone. President Biden puts Russia on the bad country list, banning diamonds, seafood, and vodka. Also, latest stimulus check articles, new plan offering more than 100,000 people a $500 pandemic relief check is proposed, and checks worth $400 will be issued to residents in weeks, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So food prices rise at fastest pace in 41 years. So inflation rate 7.9% over the past year, and prices for groceries rose even faster at 8.6% over the past year. So those two combinations, life is getting really difficult for Americans as well as the rest of the world. So record food prices could leap 22% more on Ukraine war because Ukraine, Russia, among top 5 key grain oil seeds exporters, up to 30% of Ukraine crops seen unplanted, unharvested in 2022 because of the war that's going on. So that could significantly drive up the price because of the low supply that's going on in terms of grains and oils around the world. So things are getting pretty bad. When it comes to inflation in the US, Joe Manchin has a few different ideas. Also, Joe Manchin says Biden could invoke Defense Production Act to complete natural gas pipeline, which would make the U.S. more independent of foreign energy and gas. So what he said is that called 303-mile Mountain Valley Pipeline, the quickest thing that we could get. It's more energy into the market that's going to be needed. So that is called the Defense Production Act. Also, here is more details on Joe Manchin speaking of this and how to solve inflation.
So, do you think inflation now is a threat to our national security because it continues to rise?
Well, it's a threat to the quality of life that people have and depending on. That's the bottom line. We've got to make sure that we do everything we can to fight inflation. It's the number one enemy we have.
And on gas prices, the president said 2 days ago can't do much to bring them down. Has he given up on trying to fix this problem?
I hope not. And we're going to work hard. Basically, we got to produce. We got to get back in action. We got to do everything that we can to have confidence that we're going to produce the energy that we need in our country to defend ourselves, keep ourselves strong, get these prices back down, and be able to defend our allies.
Has the administration done enough to deal with inflation?
We're working on that, and I think my statement today will be very clear where we stand.
But I mean, are you satisfied with what they've done so far?
No, I think there's a lot more we can do. I really do. We have to get back to the leasing process so people have stability. They understand that we're going to be in this game for a while. We can walk and chew gum. That means you can basically provide the energy that the country needs. The horsepower you receive from fossil, you don't receive that horsepower from renewables. Not yet. We get hydrogen going, we get other things going, and geothermal and all that. We can. We're going to get there, but we're not there yet. So you got to make sure you take care of what you have to take care. Keep the country strong, have the energy that we need to defend ourselves, to keep ourselves strong, to keep our people basically with a strong economy, but be able to defend our allies. And right now we're not able to do that, and we can. We have to do more of it.
What are your thoughts on what Joe Manchin has to say? Do you agree, disagree? Should there be more stimulus aid because of the rising food prices and gas prices? I'll get to that gas stimulus check in a moment, but first, Senate passes government funding bill preventing shutdown and clearing nearly $14 billion in Ukraine aid. So passed in the House, which I spoke about yesterday, passed in the Senate. So Senate passed a bill to fund the government through September, preventing a shutdown. The legislation also includes $13.6 billion for both humanitarian and military assistance for Ukraine as it fights off a Russian invasion. I asked the question yesterday if this was a good thing or bad thing of money going to Ukraine. Most of you said a bad thing, that the money should stay in the U.S., but let me know, should there be something else to that? Should that money be used for Americans, help out with more aid? Let me know your thoughts on all that down in the comments below. And lawmakers at the last minute scrapped $15.6 billion in supplemental coronavirus relief from the plan. So this was something that the Democrats, especially Nancy Pelosi, wanted. So after that, after it got voted out of the package, Pelosi promises standalone COVID relief bill after funds stripped from omnibus. So what Nancy Pelosi said is after that package, after it wasn't in the package, saying, "It is heartbreaking to remove the COVID relief funding. We must continue to fight for urgently needed COVID assistance, but unfortunately that will not be included in this bill." Republicans' insistence and resistance by a number of Democratic members to the offset. So, Nancy Pelosi promising that it's going to be a standalone bill. How many times have we heard promises, not just from Nancy Pelosi, but all politicians, Democrats and Republicans? So promises and things like that, I wouldn't hold my breath. Now, when it comes to new proposals and stimulus checks, Democrats unveil a plan to issue quarterly checks to Americans by taxing oil companies posting huge profits. So oil companies are making a lot of money right now. I think it's over $125 a barrel, which means they're doing the same work, but the oil that they're producing, they're making a bigger profit off of it. So Democrats are trying to basically take those profits and give it back to the American people. Let me know down in the comments below. Is that a good idea, bad idea? Democrats rolled out a plan to issue quarterly checks to Americans paid for with big oil profits. The bigger thing is that it's going to save everyone money, according to Representative Ro Khanna, and the proposal faces steep odds for passage given the GOP resistance. So, as I said before, Democrats are proposing this bill. They introduced this bill, but it doesn't seem like Republicans are going to be on board with that. So basically, the income thresholds for how this would work for tax filers making under $75,000 and couples making $150,000, so kind of like the stimulus checks before, at $120 a barrel, single filers would receive $240 a year, and joint filers would get $360 a year. So looks like per year, you could get an extra $360 if you're a couple. Let me know down in the comments below, given these requirements and amount of payout, is this a good idea, bad idea? Should it be more? Should the gas companies, should they take more of the gas companies' profits or less because the gas companies worked, or oil companies worked very hard for their money? Should they be able to keep it? Let me know down in the comments below what you think about that. At the moment, just a proposal. What Ro Khanna said is the bigger, or actually, I've read that before. All right, so that's that. Moving on to more stimulus. New plan offering more than 100,000 people a $500 pandemic relief check is proposed. So this is going on in New Jersey. So New Jersey governor has proposed that the $500 checks would be issued to taxpayers who earn no more than twice the poverty rate. So this could go out to more than 100,000 people only in New Jersey who would qualify, and they could get that $500 check. So this is just a proposal at the moment, but I'll keep you updated on what happens with that. Basically, a family would have to earn less than $46,000 per year to be eligible for that $500 check. Then here, checks worth $400 will be issued to residents in weeks. See if you qualify for the payments. So this is going on in Michigan. So Michigan Governor Gretchen has revealed that money will start being sent out in weeks. So basically, this is $400 for anybody in Michigan who has a vehicle. So the announcement noted that the money will be distributed once a $3 billion transfer of surplus funds to auto insurers across Michigan is completed. Following the money transfer, issuers will be given a deadline of 60 days to send out the $400 checks per vehicle to eligible drivers across the state. So basically, bottom line, if you live in Michigan, you're going to get a $400 check for each vehicle that you have, and it's going to be paid by May 9th. It could be paid before, but the deadline is May 9th. Then in Maine, Maine governor proposes giving bigger inflation stimulus checks. So Maine looks like the governor proposed an extra $250 on top of the $500 stimulus check, which would bring it up to $750 to about 800,000 residents living in Maine. So $750 there. And then a stimulus update: as living costs rise, Americans struggle in the absence of aid. So it looks like things are getting a lot worse than they were during the pandemic in terms of how much the costs are due to inflation, due to food shortages, food prices rising, the cost to get the food from the warehouse or the farm to the warehouse to the grocery stores. Prices prices are going up and are going to go up even higher. So basically talking about that in here, all the different prices increasing. Should there be more stimulus aid? Seems like more now than ever, low income, fixed income people should be able to get more stimulus money. It seems like they're kind of segmenting it. They're targeting like a gas stimulus check, food stimulus check, water bill stimulus check, heating stimulus checks, right? But it doesn't seem like a general force stimulus check is going to happen. It looks like they're going to make them more targeted. I'll keep you updated on what happens with that. And President Biden is to ban U.S. imports of Russian vodka, diamonds, and seafood. So President Joe Biden issued an executive order blocking U.S. imports of key Russian products, including vodka, and banning exports of high-end goods to Russia. The action bans imports from key sectors of Russia's economy, such as seafood, alcohol, and non-industrial diamonds. The White House said the order will block more than $1 billion in Russian revenues. The order will also stop the U.S. from exporting what the administration called luxury items to anyone in Russia, to hopefully try to get those oligarchs living a less comfortable lifestyle. Here's President Biden talking more about that.
And as Putin continues his merciless assault, the United States and our allies and partners continue to work in lockstep to ramp up the economic pressures on Putin and to further isolate Russia on the global stage. Later today, together with other NATO allies in the G7, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, as well as the European Union, we're going to jointly announce several new steps to squeeze Putin and hold him even more accountable for his aggression against Ukraine. And I want to speak to a few of those points today. First, each of our nations is going to take steps to deny most favored nation status to Russia. A most favored nation status designation means two countries have agreed to trade with each other under the best possible terms: low tariffs, few barriers of trade, and the highest possible imports allowed. In the United States, we call this permanent normal trade relations, PNTR, but it's the same thing. Revoking PNTR for Russia is going to make it harder for Russia to do business with the United States, and doing it in unison with other nations that make up half of the global economy will be another crushing blow to the Russian economy. It's already suffering very badly from our sanctions. And I want to thank Speaker Pelosi, Leader McCarthy, Leaders Schumer and McConnell, and Senators Wyden and Crapo, Representatives Neal and Brady, for their bipartisan leadership on this in the Congress. I would like to offer a special thanks to Speaker Pelosi, who's been a strong advocate for revoking PNTR and who agreed to hold off on that in the House until I could line up all of our key allies to keep us in complete unison. Unity among our allies is critically important, as you all know, from my perspective at least. Many issues divide us in Washington, but standing for democracy in Ukraine, pushing Russia's aggression, should not be one of those issues. The free world is coming together to confront Putin. Our two parties here at home are leading the way. And with that bipartisan cooperation, I'm looking forward to signing into law the bill revoking PNTR, which is, again, most people think of it as most favored nation status. We're also taking a further step of banning imports of goods from several signature sectors of the Russian economy, including seafoods, vodka, and diamonds. And we're going to continue to squeeze Putin. The G7 will seek to deny Russia the ability to borrow from leading multinational institutions, such as the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. Putin is an aggressor. He is the aggressor, and Putin must pay the price. He cannot pursue a war that threatens the very foundations, which he's doing, the very foundations of international peace and stability, and then ask for financial help from the international community. The G7 is also stepping up pressure on corrupt Russian billionaires. We're adding new names to the list of oligarchs and their families that we're targeting. And we're increasing coordination among the G7 countries to target and capture their ill-begotten gains.
Let me know down in the comments below, is that enough for Russia? Should there be more sanctions? Should there be more action from the US? Or should the US be backing off and not doing as much? Let me know your thoughts on all that down in the comments below and what President Biden said. That is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. And what I was gonna say is just enjoy the moments right now. Don't be like maybe don't be like, maybe I'm not good for this. Just do it. Something, if you want to do it, then you can. Because it's just a one-time thing, because you should always do something now than always later, because then it might not be the right time and it might not be the right ending. You might have like people or like.
Thank you so much for watching. So yesterday I took the day off from snowboarding, but my wife Christine and Bella, they hit the mountain pretty much all day snowboarding. It was snowing, still pretty cold out here in Winter Park, Colorado, but they're basically snowboarders now. They took lessons and stuff, and they're able to go down the mountain without falling. So yeah, they're having a great time. They're on the mountain right now, actually. Anyways, if you want to check out my latest videos on my other channels, you could click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.